Who is Caden Richards?
Hello and welcome to the Cavern of Terror.
Wolf stars Lucas Till, Jason Momoa, and is written and directed by David Hayter. How do I properly explain the film Wolves? It's kind of like High Plains Drifter combined with The Lost Boys, but replace the vampires with werewolves. Lucas Till starts our film out with a narration. He explains how he went from being a high school football star to a man on the run with a new set of supernatural powers. Hayter isn't afraid to jump right into the story. The first few minutes of this film may be a little jumpy for some, but I really enjoyed it. They weren't cautious about shooting from the hip and going straight to the good stuff. I know I say this a lot, but I really enjoyed the cinematography, especially the use of color. One scene in particular that really drew me in was the bar scene between Caden and Wild Joe. All the red lighting made for a really intense exchange. It definitely kept my interest. Director David Hayter wore 2 hats throughout this production. He also wrote the story. The story is a huge plus for Wolves. He threw in a couple curveballs to help keep the story flowing. Some came out of nowhere where others were a little bit more predictable. I had a feeling some of these characters knew a little bit more than what they implied. He also added something really interesting, and that was the lore of the werewolves in this film. I love the fact that there were pure-born werewolves, meaning that they were born from werewolves. They also have what I like to call half-breeds, or what they call mutts. These are people that are bitten by werewolves and gain the powers. There is a clear distinction between these two breeds. The mutts are nowhere near as strong as the pure-borns, and they're nowhere near as furry. Speaking of fur, Wolves has awesome special effects makeup. I mean, down to the scars and wounds, I was really impressed with the attention to detail. The hits in this film are really powerful blows. I can tell that the effects team took their time to make these visuals look very real and pretty brutal. The werewolf transformation scenes were also seamless to me. They don't go full American Werewolf in London here, but they do their best. Sadly, I have to say, even with all the good in Wolves, there is some bad. More specifically with the green screen effects. With only $18 million at their disposal, Wolves had a pretty low budget. You can clearly see that most of it went into casting and makeup effects. I'm all for in-camera practical effects. Bring it on, you know I like that stuff. But I feel like Wolves had to go all in for their practical effects. Is it too much to ask for a couple real aerial shots of Caden riding his motorcycle instead of really bad green screen effects that resemble PS1 cutscenes? So are there any worthy moments? Let's say that the sexuality level is pretty high here, with moments like this and this. Come on guys, this is YouTube, I can't show you that. Lucas Till does a pretty good job as Caden. He's a suitable lead. He has a solid chemistry with Merritt Patterson's Angel character, and he handles the action scenes pretty well. But I have to say that Jason Momoa's Connor character is a show stealer. He's a cool, confident badass as always, but here he's pretty savage. He even uses cannibalism as punishment. On a more cheerful note, there's humor here as well. Most of which came from Angel's sister, Gail. She was hilarious. She was in the movie for a suitable amount of time, which is good. She didn't overstay her welcome. The action/fight scenes were choreographed well and stayed stable. By stable, I mean there was no shaky cam. You guys know how I feel about shaky cam, especially bad shaky cam, so Wolves gets a huge plus for that. Another thing that I have to praise were the slow-mo scenes that were added into the fights. I know that slow-mo added the fight scenes has become an action trope nowadays, but I think it worked really well here. They were added at the right points and they weren't overused. I had to think on this one a little bit guys, but in the end I'm gonna have to give Wolves a Just like I said in my review for the English film Howl, I'm a really big fan of werewolf movies. I was pretty well satisfied with Wolves. It was a film that didn't hold back. Even though there was a lot of good with amazing special effects, makeup, and smart casting, I think this film was a little bit too ambitious for its own good. Had they cut the subpar green screen with some real aerial shots, I think we would have had a Metal Claw on our hands. Wolves is rich with backstory and an impressive lore. The sad thing about this movie is that it's left open for a sequel. And with only making $12 million of its $18 million budget back, I don't think we're gonna get one. Alright guys, that has been my review of Wolves. What did you think? Let me know down in the comments down below. I had a lot of fun doing this review. If there's any other werewolf movies out there that you think I should review, let me know down in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a like. If you like this review and you want to see my future content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. Also, make sure you hit that bell button, that way you get notified every time I come out with a new video. I would really appreciate it if you check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LetterBoxd. I'm Zach, this has been the Blu-ray Mountain. Stay metal, my friends.